All right, everyone. Hello. This is KD Sports Cards 35. I wanted to start a new series today. It's called Porch Talk. So, as you can see, I'm here on my little porch. It's really nice. We've got these nice chairs. Um, so, I wanted to talk about current sports news that's going on. I wanted to start with the NBA. There's certainly a lot going on in the NFL, and I certainly want to try to get to it as I can. But NBA season's coming up, and I gotta say that's my sport. Top two things right now: Carmelo and D Wade. Obviously, they both came in the league 2003, 2004. Obviously, LeBron was the top tier in that class, but D Wade, Carmelo have been right there. Carmelo probably wishes he had a couple more rings. D Wade has just been great his career. He's had some injuries, but he's just been great. You know, he got to team up with Shaq. That great series where he beat Dallas, which I loved. I honestly really do not like the Mavericks. I'm a Spurs guy, but that's not here nor there. So let's start with Carmelo. We just found out a few days ago that he is signing with the Thunder. I'm a little surprised. I have been excited about Russ Westbrook for a while. You know, KD is my guy. He went over to Golden State. I wasn't really happy about that, to be honest. But Russ Westbrook is just an absolute beast. He just cannot be stopped. He needs help, so this is great. But it's kind of also been an understanding that he has not signed his new contract. It's just sitting on the desk. It's a max contract. It's just sitting on the desk waiting for him to sign. He has not done it. So it's been in the belief that he's just going to leave right after this next season. But then he gets Paul George, and then now he has Carmelo. But to get Carmelo, they had to send Enes Kanter, which I really like him. I loved the duo of Kanter and Adams down in the post. Kanter obviously had some interesting issue last year. He punches a chair and gets hurt, so that isn't really the smartest thing. So maybe that's why they kind of were okay with shipping him off. I also just don't see Carmelo as that big of a leader. I know he's had a tough time with the Knicks. The leadership president, you know, Phil Jackson thing, but Porzingis is great. So hopefully Porzingis can really build a team there. I just don't know how this is going to work in OKC. I love that starting lineup of Carmelo, Russ, PG-13, Adams, and I don't know who else they want to throw in there. Probably another big guy. But I just don't know how that's going to work. So it's really interesting. I'm also kind of selfishly glad that we don't have this Carmelo drama over us maybe for a little while. It seems like we've been talking about him for forever. If he'll leave, where he'll go, what his deal is. So selfishly, I'm kind of happy that we can just kind of maybe lay off him a bit. And then there's D Wade. It was sad to see what happened in Chicago. They just fell apart, and then Butler left to go to the T-Wolves, which is another team I'm really excited about. Maybe I can talk about them later. But Chicago, they're just gonna have to tank and start over. I don't know. They're not looking good. So there's that. And it's cool to see him join back up with LeBron. I know they're good buddies. They've been through a lot in the league together. They've spoken out against social justice issues. That's been really cool to see. So I hope good things happen there. It's interesting what's going to happen with Isaiah Thomas in Cleveland. I don't see that they've gotten really any better. I don't know how that's going to work. So I hope D Wade, more than anything, can give some more great leadership instead of it just being LeBron all the time. I like they still have Jefferson there. They have Corver still, I believe. So it should be cool. I just don't know how it's going to work out. You know, the top of the East is Cleveland, Boston, and then there's everyone else. It really doesn't matter. Washington hopefully can be in the mix. Hopefully Milwaukee will continue to get better. I don't know how Toronto's going to do. They just kind of have floundered. But it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully the East can continue to get better because the West just got even more loaded than they already were. So I'm happy for D Wade. I'm happy for Carmelo. Hopefully Russ can really feel like he's being appreciated because he's such a great player. To me, it was never a question whether he gets the MVP or not. So that whole thing was silly. Obviously, Harden is fantastic, but to me, you can't average a triple-double and win the second time ever and not get the MVP. I mean, they were still a 6 or 7 seed. Yeah, I usually want the MVP, maybe 1, 2, 3 seeds, but, I mean, come on. You can't. That's silly. So that's great. I'm excited for the NBA season. We'll keep talking about it. I want to get some updates here on my fantasy teams. In fantasy baseball, I'm in the championship game, but I'm getting killed. But still, that's cool to make the championship game. Fantasy football, give some updates. I'm doing my fantasy basketball draft tonight, so I'll hopefully get a video up on who I've drafted, and we can kind of start that process together. But please show my channel some love. Comment. Let's get a conversation going. I want to talk sports. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Definitely give a like. And please help me keep my channel growing. I just think it's fun doing this, to be honest. So I appreciate y'all watching, and join us next time for Porch Talk. Hook 'em.